It took me a couple of days. I watched the season entirely over the weekend and Monday, but I wasn't quite sure how I was going to rate this, because it had some goods and some bads. Welcome to the heart of the stories we tell. My name is Rob, and tonight I will be reviewing Defenders Season 1. And you know what? The Defenders didn't really live up to my expectation, but it wasn't bad. For those of you who don't know, these are the Defenders.
Luke Cage. Jess Jones. The Devil of Hell's Kitchen. The Iron Fist.
And like I said, as each episode went by, different pairings worked well or bad, but for the most part, Matt Murdock and Jessica Jones were the best. Although, anyone with Luke Cage is pretty decent. In fact, out of all of this, as I watched episode 8, I felt more and more like this was Daredevil and Luke Cage's shows, but with the others just tagging along. And that felt a little weird to me. But okay, let's throw this up there and get started with episode 8. So once again, it's stop. Spoiler time. The same title as the show itself, episode 8 was simply called The Defenders. And now, there are a lot of things that kind of bugged me throughout the end of this run, but Foggy wasn't one of them. In fact, Foggy bringing the suit to Matt last episode, was one of the best scenes. As we're unpacking everything here, though, I think the best part is the supporting cast getting their chance to run wild in episode 8. Especially the fact that Claire and Colleen got to really do stuff. With how Misty helped out, and the fact that Misty got her arm chopped off in the end and needs to have that bionic arm built. Let me once again pitch my Daughters of the Dragon miniseries instead of Defenders Season 2. Because again, Defenders really felt like, well, Daredevil. Yeah, there were a lot more cast. Yeah, they brought a bunch of people in, but we didn't really get to see Patsy Walker doing anything. Iron Fist still felt a little childish. In fact, if anything, I thought that the worst parts of his series got brought over, but not the best. Jessica was used very well sometimes, but other times was just, there. One of the things that bugged me the most is that they specifically called out Luke, hey, you pull your punches. Well, guess what? Jessica's pretty much just as strong, and is much less likely to be pulling her punches. Shouldn't she be the badass of this series? For that reason alone? But okay, let's stick to episode 8. We have all the climactic fights going down. In fact, we pretty much open up with a big old brawl. And it's cool. All the choreographing is much better in this than it was in Iron Fist, back to where it was in Daredevil Season 2, which I still think might be the high point. I still really like the concept. The idea of blowing up the building, though, kind of irked me. With all their superpowers, they couldn't come up with anything better. And the fact that Iron Fist wasn't even really given a vote because he was playing boy hostage. And, of course, accidentally opens up the secret vault because he can't think enough not to use his Iron Fist. Now, the big reveal of it being Dragon Bones in there was foreshadowed even with the name of the restaurant. And very well done. And I like the fact that the same dragon that he punched in the heart, which they didn't really go too in-depth into, although they do make a joke of it, is the bones here. You have to realize, in Kalung, the dragon dies every time there's a new Iron Fist and then is reborn as an egg. So technically, yeah, I guess there are bodies to be buried all over the world. And I guess that's what the hand was using to rejuvenate people and to keep them alive. Parts of the dragon brewed down into some sort of elixir. And if you think about it, wanting to live forever is a pretty damn good reason to turn villainous. But most of the hand is defeated here. We only have a handful of them left. Ha 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 ha. Alright, fine. No more puns. So, what about where we end the series with everyone? Well, Luke and Jessica are pretty much just going back to where they were at the end of their seasons, just with Luke out of jail. Misty needs her bionic arm because she's had it chopped off. The night nurse is staying with Luke, and I really like that relationship. In fact, I like her better with Luke than I did with Matt. I don't know why. At the same time, I still have a little bit of a thing for the Luke Cage, Jessica canonical relationship where they get married and have a kid. Let me know down in the comment section. What ship do you like best? Do you prefer Luke and Night Nurse or Luke and Jessica Jones? Alright, anyway. And then we have what happened to Iron Fist. I guess he's going to take over the role of Daredevil for a little while, sitting on the rooftops. And believe it or not, there's even a little bit of comic continuity there where Iron Fist wore the Daredevil uniform for a while. However, at the same time, since they haven't given him his Iron Fist outfit, I'm sure they won't. They're just going to be like, oh, he's the city protector now, and he totally earned that. Even though he totally didn't. Not yet. In fact, Matt whispering to him was kind of a little forced. I really thought if he was going to whisper to anyone, it should have been Luke. Luke is really the hero. Like Daredevil, not Iron Fist. So what about the end with Daredevil and Elektra? 1, I'm a sucker for true love's kiss breaks the spell. I really am. And 2, like I said, even though all the heroes got a little bit, it really felt like this was mostly Matt Murdock's season still. Even the Iron Fist stuff that mostly dragged felt like it reflected on Daredevil, especially since Gout originated there. And the Hand is really a Daredevil villain. So, at the end, the two of them, Elektra and Daredevil, looking at each other and holding each other, and dying in the building collapse, made sense. As did her bringing him to the Catholic hospital and leaving him there. I like that whole idea. I even like the fact that Karen didn't go through and reveal who he was, even by accident, because she thought through, hey, if Matt Murdock disappeared the same day Daredevil did. I do feel there was a missed opportunity here. And it's the same missed opportunity that I harp on again and again and again with Netflix. There were so many New York heroes, so much things going on in New York, that when that building came down, they could have had a cameo. Even if they couldn't get Robert Downey Jr. to do it. If they could just have a CGI Iron Man armor show up and try to help for a few minutes, that alone would have made it feel more connected. Now, what I'd really like to see is some of these characters graduate to the big screen, and as much as I know in Infinity War it's not going to happen, I would love for Luke Cage and Daredevil to make an appearance. But it's not. So now on to the hardest part. What do I rate this series? Season 1 of Daredevil, I had some problems with. Season 2 of Daredevils was awesome. Jessica Jones and Luke Cage both had awesome episodes, but dragged a little in the middle. Iron Fist was at best mediocre. This felt like a continuation of all of them. Like it had the mediocre moments of Iron Fist, it had the dragging moments of Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, and it even had the downsides of some of the original Daredevil episodes. But it also had the awesomeness of the Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Daredevil Season 2. So how do I rate this? Well, the action is pretty good. The comedy is pretty spot on. The actors are all doing their best and pulling their weight even when they're given cheesy dialogue. The writing only drags because they wanted to stretch things out. Jessica leaving kinda made sense, but could have been done better. Iron Fist getting turned on by the whole group really, really could have been done better without making him look like a kid. Giving Colleen and Night Nurse and Misty more to do before Episode 8 would have been great. And of course they have Sigourney Weaver, and the action sequence in Episode 3 was just beyond the par, maybe the best we've seen yet. If I rated individual episodes, some would be copper, some would be silver, some would be electrum, some would be gold. Well, only one would be gold, but I really wanted to give this an electrum. But the more I thought about it, the more I said, the only reason you want to is you wanted it to be good. This is a silver. This is a story full of potential, and could get a lot better when they do another season, but right now has too many flaws to say it was great. Now that we've gotten past the growing pains of getting to know each other, and we have the cast together, maybe we could do something more. What I'd really love to see is more team-ups in two-shots. Miss Jones and the Devil and Miss Jones. How did I not see that? Jessica Jones and Daredevil working together I think would be great. I wouldn't mind a Heroes for Hire where Luke Cage and Iron Fist are working together. I'm not sure I want to see Iron Fist Season 2, but we'll see. And of course, as I've been pitching since Iron Fist, I think Daughters of the Dragon is just being screamed for right now. There's so much potential in all this, but the series fell a little short. At least that's my thoughts. What are yours? I'd love to hear them. Do you think I missed something really awesome? Was there an Easter egg that slipped by me? Do you think I'm just crazy? Either way, now would be a great time for you to like this video if you don't think I'm crazy. Well, no, you probably know I'm crazy. And share with your friends, because I'm trying to build a community here. And so part of that means, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Because what I'd like to do is find a way for us to all talk about all of these shows and what it means to be a story. While I was doing this, part of what I skipped was the cops and how they reacted to Luke and Matt and all of them. I'm going to cover that in my weekly theory video, because boy did they get Laws and the cops wrong here. But for now, I hope you have a good night, and thanks for watching.